And welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video, and welcome here to the review of Espanyol against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. And it has been a long time since I've come here for a post-match review with a loss to report on, and that's exactly what's happened tonight. Espanyol have beaten us by a 1-0 in the first leg of the Copa del Rey quarterfinals, and it's a really big disappointment for me. Not because we've lost. I think the Copa del Rey is something which Valverde at the moment doesn't really seem to be prioritising, and I think that's probably about right. You know, the League and the Champions League are very much our priorities. Valverde clearly rotating the squad tonight, but it's not just the fact we've lost today, it's who we've lost against. We've lost against our big rivals Espanyol, and if you watch the game tonight, guys, you know exactly what I mean when I say we really didn't want to lose the game against this particular team, simply because their fans inside that stadium, every single time we go there, are an absolute disgrace. They really are. Tonight, they threw something at Jasper Cillessen. There was a lot of sort of chants all the way through the game. Obviously, there's going to be a hostile atmosphere. Obviously, tempers are going to be high because it is a derby game. I accept that. But in a game like this, in a rivalry like this, you've got to know when to draw the line. And Espanyol fans simply do not know how to do that. Like I say, something thrown at Jasper Cillessen. As of right now, we don't know what that was. Piqué went over to him. He went down to the ground. He got back up. We don't know what was thrown, but something was. Clearly, there was fans behind the goal that were right up against the barriers trying to throw things. And it's just not acceptable. And that's the reason tonight why I'm so disappointed. Because let's face it, we've got a second leg to come at the Camp Nou, which we've had as an absolute fortress this season. And I personally think we're going to go to the Camp Nou in the second leg. It's going to be next week. We're going to be fired up. We're going to be motivated. Valverde, absolutely no doubt about it, will play a stronger team than he did tonight. And there's a big chance that we'll wipe out this deficit and we'll reach the Copa semi-finals. But it's just the fact that tonight, Espanyol have won the game. They won it in the dying moments. They've ended our unbeaten run. And I just really wish it wasn't them, the team, to do it. Because tonight, they didn't really deserve the win. I thought in terms of our performance, we weren't terrible. It wasn't particularly good from us tonight. There wasn't really a lot of fluidity about our play. I think tonight it was very much a case of a lot of players playing together who maybe hadn't had an awful lot of time on the pitch all together as one. There was a lot of moments where there was sort of misplaced passes. There was runs that wasn't really finding their target. Nobody really seemed particularly in sync tonight, and that was definitely the case, particularly for the goal. The midfield and the defence were completely detached from each other. There was absolutely no tracking at all from the midfield. That's why the Espanyol guy in the box, Melendo, gets the ball in an acre of space. The defence are too deep. Midfielders aren't tracking him, and it's an easy finish past Jasper Cillessen. And Espanyol, with just 2 minutes to go, get the win that they didn't really deserve. Obviously, you look back to the penalty around the hour mark. Lionel Messi steps up. It is a penalty. There's a foul on Sergio Roberto. Messi steps up, and I have to say, a lot of times, you know, Messi has said himself that he wants to improve penalty kicks. He thinks that that's one area that he can really improve on. And I agree with that. You know, at times Messi can miss penalties, but tonight for me, nothing at all wrong with Messi's penalty. It was a good penalty. It was into the corner, a really well struck penalty. Nothing wrong with it. It was a brilliant save by Diego Lopez. He reaches out his left hand, he gets down low, he reaches out really strong left hand, and you have to give credit to the keeper here. It's a very good save. Obviously, Messi will expect to score. He expects to score every game regardless, but in this instance, I don't think we can blame Messi from the penalty spot. There was other chances as well. Messi in the first half, at times in that first half, and throughout the game really, it did very much seem like a one-man show. Messi from the front, that was all we really had. And like I say, Messi breaking forward, doing a lot of our forward work, but in midfield there was one real standout player as well from the game. There was Messi, who was brilliant, and I think the other player who is absolutely majestic today was Sergio Busquets. In that first half especially, his touches on the ball were absolutely outstanding. In the first half, he did a little pirouette, a little turn on the ball. It was an absolutely majestic piece of play, and also there was a lot of passes in between the lines, long passes as well, that he was finding his man time and time again. I thought he looked like he was really enjoying himself in that first half today, and I thought alongside Messi, Busquets definitely one of the standout players on the night, when overall we weren't really on our best. Alex Vidal on the right hand side started in that sort of wing role, and I have to say he was almost completely anonymous right throughout the game. He did not add anything at all to our team. There was Denis Suarez on the left, who again wasn't really involved as much as we'd like. He did have a big chance off to the left hand side. He was found by Alenia and he put it to the near post, but he put it wide. A really big chance that Denis Suarez probably should have done better with. Paulinho, before he went off injured, wasn't as effective going forward. He didn't really have the combinations that we're used to with Lionel Messi. I think Alenia in that midfield, he started the game. That was a big surprise, but I was really happy to see him included from the start by Valverde. And I have to say, I was surprised that he was the man substituted when Luis Suarez came on. I think that we could have possibly taken off Vidal, maybe even Denis before Alenia, because I think Alenia in that first half did some good things. He was making making some positive runs forward. Every time he got the ball, he was looking to go forward, he was looking to do things. He lost the ball a few times, but that's because he was taking some risk. And that's exactly what we needed at times. We needed somebody to break the lines, to do that, to sort of force Espanyol out of their shape. And we didn't really do that enough in the second half. There wasn't really enough penetration. And that's why as the game went on and on and on, we got Rafinha off the bench, who again wasn't really involved enough. Espanyol started to come on to us. The crowd was behind them. And in that last sort of 10 minutes or so, you could feel the goal coming. They were getting corners, they were getting free kicks, they were piling the pressure on. And in the end, like I say, the real disjointed play between the defence and the midfield cost us in the end, and we ended up losing the game, ending our 29-match unbeaten run, and unfortunately in the Copa del Rey losing in this first leg. But what I want to say, guys, basically, is we can't really get too bogged down by this result. Valverde's starting a team clearly, which isn't a priority. You know, the Copa del Rey is something right now, which of course we want to win, we want to contend for, but Valverde clearly rotating players. We've got a tough visit on the weekend away at Real Betis. That is not going to be an easy game, so I can understand tonight why Valverde decided to rotate. I think at times he's got to be a bit careful with that. We can't really afford to be doing this too often, but I think in first legs, we've seen it against Celta Vigo. In the first leg of that time, we went to Balaidos. It was a 1-1 draw on the night, and we got out of that one pretty much unscathed. We got our away goal. That was the big difference, though, in that game. We went there, it was a draw on the night, and we got the away goal. Tonight, unfortunately, we have not got the away goal, which means if Espanyol score at the Camp Nou, we will have to get 3. But at the same time, even if they do score, we are very much accustomed of getting 4 and 5 goals against Espanyol at the Camp Nou. Even back in September, like I mentioned in the preview video, we absolutely hammered them 5-0. So even if they do score, I would still be very, very confident that the team, as a full-strength side, could turn this game around. So I don't think we can get too frustrated with this loss. Obviously, it's a setback. Obviously, like I said at the start, it's a shame that it had to happen on a night like this against Espanyol, with the kind of reputation they have of being a club that we really don't want to associate ourselves with. They're rivals, they're not respectful in the slightest, their fans are a bit of an embarrassment. But other than that, really, we've got to move on, we've got to keep moving forward. The one thing that I would say, though, on tonight's performance was I was very, very surprised that Jose Arnaiz wasn't involved in the entire squad, especially when you look at the kind of displays, like I say, from Vidal. Denis Suarez didn't have enough as effect from that left-hand side. Aleñá obviously came off early, but in those wider areas, I think Arnaiz tonight could have been really, really valuable. You saw him away at Celta Vigo in that first leg, like I mentioned. He was the man that got the away goal on that night, and I just think if maybe he'd have had some chances in front of goal tonight, he might have got us a goal, he might have put them away. But like I say, the only real presence today, the only real effort up front was coming from Lionel Messi. It was a lot of solo runs, he was in and around the box, he was hustling and bustling, he was trying to get into the area to create, but in the end it didn't quite happen. He had a volley, he had a few shots on goal which were saved by Diego Lopez, but overall tonight it was complete dominance in terms of possession. We finished the game with 72% possession, we had more shots on goal than Espanyol, and like I say, it really wasn't really a game we deserved to lose. Espanyol tonight for me didn't really do enough to win the game, but they've snatched it from us, and I just want Valverde now to realise in that second leg, let's play a full strength side, not only because we want to win, we want to get through, but I really want to put out a statement to Espanyol. Don't mess with us, we are going to beat you, we're going to beat you at our own stadium, and not just beat them, I want a really crushing performance like we saw against Celta Vigo at the Camp Nou. That was an absolute annihilation on that day, and that's what I want to see against Espanyol in the return leg. You saw their fans after, you know, Diego Lopez saved that Messi penalty, they were actually celebrating like they'd won the cup. And I think it's really, really important now next week that we put down a marker. You are not bigger than us, you're nothing compared to us. We have to go out there, show that we're Barcelona, show that we can overcome this, and make sure that we wipe out that deficit as soon as possible. But like I say, the attention now turning to the weekend, to Sunday, the La Liga game against Real Betis away from home. Like I say, I do understand why Valverde was rotating tonight, and then all focus back on the Copa del Rey. We will be wiping out that deficit midweek next week, same sort of time. And that's the thing about it, when we play Espanyol in the week, the following game then was on that weekend against Alaves at home. So even if you want to rotate some players in that Alaves game in the league, it should be very, very comfortable. Alaves right now are down the bottom of the table, they're not going to be too much of a threat. We want to be putting all our eggs into that Copa del Rey basket in that midweek. Make sure that we beat Espanyol, because it's not just great for getting through in the cup, it's also great for our confidence. We want to go forward, we want to keep making strides. Our unbeaten run in all competitions has come to an end, but of course we'll still try and remain unbeaten in the league, in the Champions League. We're still going forward. This is not a massive, massive blow. It's just a real shame that, like I say, tonight it came at the expense of Espanyol. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I'm really interested to see how you viewed the game tonight. I want to know your opinions. Do you think it was a bad loss? Do you think it was a bad performance? Do you blame Valverde? Who do you blame for this? Or is it simply simply one of those things that just happens. It was a loss that was going to happen at some point, and rather it happened now in the Cup when we got the chance to rectify it next week. Let me know all your thoughts and all your opinions in the comments down below, guys. And after this video, I will have as well my player ratings video, which obviously isn't really going to be great tonight for a lot of the guys on the pitch. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I will see you very, very soon indeed with more videos. But until then, as always, Vasca El Barça! 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 Barça!